Hello and welcome to how to load advanced loading with Dreamfrodo. So we'll show you what you have to do advanced loading with Dreamfrodo. So for a start, you press start button on the Dreamcast, you go to the options, go to emulation and put on the 1541 processor. And now when you go into a drive and you insert disk, this is if a game does not work or just says too complex error or some other thing like that. So we load it as normal, we press start and we go auto start and it will load the game, and it will load at real Commodore C64 disk drive speed. This is something you've got to keep in mind, but there is something great you can do. Once the game has loaded, you can save state the game, and then when you want to play it again, it's instantaneous from the VMU. We will demonstrate this. I won't put you through real Commodore loading speed, but just so you know, when you put the 1541 disk drive on, it loads at real-time speed like it would on the Commodore 64. This is necessary because C64 games on disk drives, the D64 files had protection, and bootloaders and used the 1541 disk drive CPU for extra abilities. So from now on, I'm going to speed it up for you so you don't get bored watching. The game has now loaded to this part. You see it starts with an R. All you have to do is type U, N, and then return. It will then load to the next part of the game. The next part of the game has now loaded. So we go into the options to swap the joysticks. Press fire. This is just an example on how to load these games. So, now what you do now is you press start, go into save states, say save, say VMU1, say yes. Now we can warm reset, and we can load the game back instantly, saving all the load time. So here we go, load. And the game is loaded. So that's how you do load saves and save states for a game. Once you've endured the loading times, you can save state it from there. Okay. We will now show you how to load a tape file. Okay, go into the same directory, say insert tape. You can use the analog stick to go through things quicker. load the file, press start, and do the auto start. The tape will now load. Thankfully not at real-time speed, it will load quicker. As you can see, that was very quick for a tape file. This is one of the best Commodore games ever made, with some of the best soundtrack from Martin Galway. So let's get to playing. At first, you really have no control over your machine. You have to do it in air. Once you get one of these, so I will let it bounce until I get this first one. Then I will waggle the joystick or the D-pad, and now I have control over gravity. But not over the bounce. So, see here, I don't want to bounce down that hole because then it'll be there. So now, waggle the joystick, now I have anti-gravity control. We are going to get a cat. Now, when you hold the button in, you can move the cat around. That is also available to do with 2 players. So co-op. Once we get this, we can get our shield. So we now have our shield. And now we can start. Collecting. Ah! Every time you start, if you do not have a permanent, you will have uncontrollable gravity. So, I gotta control this in midair. Okay. It's an extremely difficult game, but once you get the hang of it, it is excellent. So that is how you do a tape file. Tape files are almost better than loading disk files on this eliminator, but you can save state at any time with every game. So what else can you do on here? I'm trying to think. There's so many games, it's hard to go through all my favorites. So, reset, go to warm reset, go to auto start, it's a tape file. Your tape file will load. And there we go. So this is a graphic adventure, so again, I'll show you how to do tape loading. To get back to the other menus, you press Y. That gets to the back to the other menus on the game. Okay, so press M. We can look for tape files. And not tap, but tape. So, actually, what I'll do is I want to show one of my favorite games. Now, I'll have to see if it's what. Let's see. Let's go to the bottom. Okay, it's a tape. It's a disc file. Let's play it without turning the 1541 on. Let's just go to a warm reset. Let's go to auto start and see. So the 1541 CPU is not on, but this game is loading. Games that have copy protection will not load without the 1541 CPU on. This is a placeholder collection, the first one. There is no way I can go through and play 5,000 plus games. There's actually 15,000 plus Commodore games, and there's no way I can go through and sit here and do every one. So with testing, we'll be able to do this. So now this is Synapse. To me, it was one of my most favorite shooters of all time. Of course, when I was a kid, I had reflexes. And I had memorized it. It is a rock hard shooter, and it's actually a very good game. You do have power-ups as well. But you do have to memorize the attack patterns. It's a really good two-player co-op shooter. I'm afraid I'm doing a good job here. Anyway, that's been a how-to video. If you have any other problems, leave a comment down below, and I'll get back to you. Thank you. This has been Ian Michael, signing out. Have a good day, mate.